the common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Everyone has access to the information. We just know how to analyze it better.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing. Had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What is going on? What is going on? Let me know if you can hear us, and welcome to a Patreon-only live show. If this is your first Patreon-only live show, we really don't have anything planned. These are AMA style. Me and Todd are a lot more relaxed. We're just answering your questions, looking at a couple charts, recapping some common questions we're getting in Discord, and just kind of having a little bit of fun, giving you a little more value for being a Patreon and Discord member. This video is never released to the public, so no question is to beginner.
Some Todd Father mugs. Those are funny.
Yeah, so the Todd Father mugs, the Learn Crypto gear, we never really had time to do our own store. So there is an individual in the community that is building his own merchandise store, and it will be featuring Learn Crypto. So once that is available, maybe he'll do some kind of promotion to give a discount to Learn Crypto Discord members or something like that. We'll let you know. He has mugs, mouse pads, shirts. He's just kind of building out some products, and these are kind of just testers to see what we think. So he might end up giving those away to you guys. Maybe not this giveaway, but maybe next giveaway or the YouTube show. We'll see what happens here. And it looks like our mics are working. So what do you got going on over there, Todd?
Asking what I've been doing. Trying to triple my bags.
There you go. All right.
I had to do I don't know how many orders I had to do this morning.
Right.
Cutting those orders up for Bitcoin. Oh my God.
Bitcoin's still sitting here at 81.09. Nothing much has changed. If you've been with us for a while, you know that we have we sold if you've been here for a little while, we sold the top right around 13.5, again at 13.1, told everybody not to chase the 12, sold the 10.8, and then most recently had a stop at 99.25 to 10,000 range, wherever you fell in that zone before this big dip. Before the dip even occurred, we had a blind buy zone around 8,200 that Todd said he would be going long with no stops. So that was kind of your heads up. We did
I was naked.
Wick down before that, and to the minute, Todd was saying here, buy now, Bitcoin at 7,800, and until today, 7,750, that was the low there as well. Which again, we said if you guys missed it, I know a lot of people missed the 7,800 to 8,500 happen real quick, or if you only went in with a small percentage, we were saying again on the dip today to take advantage of that, increase your long percentage a little bit. And, a lot of people are like, well, are we going to 7,000, 72, 75? Look, only the shadow knows that. All we do is we look for low-risk entries that produce big rewards. And time after time, all year long, we've been able to do that since the last lows at 3,000 to 3,200 when everybody said we were crazy trying to go long at those levels, even taking a mortgage as it fell below $4,000. That was what we said we would do, so we went ahead and did it. So you continually take these low-risk entries, and they will pay out big dividends. You're never going to find the exact top and never going to find the exact bottom. You just got to get exposure to the market that you think is going so much higher, correct? If you think that is happening, are you going to be kicking yourself if you miss your entry by $100 while it is on its way to a new all-time high?
Whoa.
I think so. So we'll see where it falls here. Personally, I am probably about 90% long. Got a lot of the altcoins back as it hit our buy zones. Ethereum Classic rallying very strongly off the Bitcoin buy zone. ZRX gave a buy zone last night at 20 cents or lower. It has rallied as high as 22.5 today, up to 21.5. And people want stops. I guess we can talk a little bit about stops here, Todd. I'll give just kind of a quick synopsis on why I'm not putting stops on, and then maybe you can explain what the purpose of stops are and really kind of the more technical definition of when you use stops, etc. So the reason I really haven't given stop levels on any altcoins up to this point, just for this move, If you've been with us, you know I had profit stops on every single altcoin we were in before the big dump. We got in those altcoins on 827, 829, 95, wherever you got in on there, we had profit stops in. You were in the green, and that was because we wanted to protect those profits, as we thought that Bitcoin had downside risk, and we were some of the few people that said, no, this isn't alt season. Alts will get hit just as hard, if not harder. That's why we ran the stops. So if we're buying alts back now, why am I not putting stops in place when Bitcoin still has downside risk? Because the Bitcoin downside risk at this point, in my opinion, is very small. Maybe 7,200, 7,250 worst case scenario, in my opinion. So I do not want to put stops on assets we just got in when I think they could be making a major low somewhere around here. Do we ever get back down to the buy zones? Maybe, maybe not. Do we go a little bit lower if Bitcoin wicks? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't want to start running stops here, get whipsawed out of profits, get whipsawed out of these stops for small losses over and over, and run the risk of missing the upside potential that these have. Right when everybody thought alts were dead and I was going long, we saw alts give us 20, 25, 30, 35% gains in the matter of days. And that is something that can be a reality, especially if Bitcoin decides to firm up here and head higher. So that's why I'm not really eager to put stops on right here. And then also, I know myself, some of you guys are talking about it. The reason I'm comfortable being so long is how good of a year we've had. We also got stopped out much higher. I am also sending fresh fiat to the market. So if Bitcoin dumps again, I kind of hope it stays here for another couple days till my fiat gets there. I am kind of hedging against an increased dip by having some fresh fiat coming. And also that remainder 10%. What am I going to use that for? That's going to be used for some positions that I just really don't have room for in my portfolio, but would like to make a play on, such as the basic attention token, little buy or no action recommendation I put in hashtag charts last night, or even like an XRP, which I think we may see a rally about 3 to 4 weeks prior to the Swell conference. So if we kind of get a little more structure in the market here and we start moving upward, then I'll probably deploy that 10% into one of those assets. And then, of course, as we get going, as things are looking a little better, that is when I'll come in behind you and say, hey, if you own this, put a stop here, and we'll kind of try to mitigate risk and start locking in profits on the way up. So when do you use stops, Todd? What is the purpose of stops? I think a lot of people, we get stopped out and people are like, oh, let's buy right now. The reason stops are there is because it is at a major inflection point, correct?
I think stops are good for short-term trades, and I don't think this is really a short-term trade. If we would have been stopped out at 9,900, I'd be wanting to use stops, etc. But we've saved so much by trading and using stops. I think down here you just got to back off and not get wicked out on something. I might change my mind if we get a rally to, if we go up to 8,800, 8,900, or 9,000 and things, and I get a technometer overbought, then you'll see me throw some stops in probably. But I also am afraid that we sell the first overbought technometer and we just rock and roll further to the upside. So I'm probably more worried about that. So, and you should be, if you should be 85, 90% long, probably Bitcoin right now. And I said you could buy other altcoins. I'm mostly stay with Bitcoin. That might be a mistake. I was going to slide into Ethereum and Litecoin. I've done that for a few people. A lot of PCG is going to see that I'm all Bitcoin almost. So it's been easier for me to trade. And I might sell some Bitcoin later and diversify into some of these other coins once I get a feel here in the next few days. Because somebody asks, if we're still going to go down and do a wave 5, shit, that's going to happen in the next 2 days. So I think, I think you just buy and close your eyes here. I normally don't trade that way, but I think these are almost hodl prices that you got to make sure you own and be careful that you don't get stopped out. Because if I get stopped out of 7,000, shit, I'm going to be nervous when I'm going to get it back. So I don't think we're headed to 4,200, 5,200, 6,200. I don't think we're going to see 7,200.
And even off the current buys, so we gave you the blind price to keep an eye on was 8,200. We went down there very rapidly, and then Todd went in Discord and said, buy now, it's 7,800. Wherever you get filled between 78 to 82, just market buy it. Wherever you can get in, because that thing was moving very fast. And people were immediately like, all right, where do I put the stop at? Number one, where did you get filled in the $400 range? I don't know. But number two, where do you think a bunch of people had stops, or where would be the most logical place to put the stop after that buy? At that low, right around 7,800, you probably would have given yourself a little bit of a room, right? 79.80 maybe. Well, what did you have today? You would have got wicked out. It went to 79.50.
And then you got to worry about how to get back.
So I mean, now you got to worry about,
So,
can I get it back? Now it's back up to 81.10. Oh my God, I'm stressing out. Oh, I just lost another %. Okay, I'll put a stop at today's low. Okay, we have a wick tomorrow to 79. Well, then you're out again. So we don't like to accumulate small losses like that at major bottoms, and that's why currently we're not really running any stops right here. If anything changes or the software gets ugly or things look really ugly and we're not looking for just a few $100s lower, then obviously we'll give you an outright sell or a stop level to put into place. But for now, that's just not the case. I think you need to change your mindset. When we were in, since our sell at 13.5, we kind of got in the mindset that we're going to have a sideways correction. And we were looking to buy dips and sell rips. We weren't really falling in love with any coins because we saw this coming months ago. But now you got to start switching up your mentality, realize that we may be near a major low here somewhere in Bitcoin. While institution platforms are being launched, with Bakkt is now launched. Today it went up to 156 Bitcoin volume from 28 Bitcoin volume, so it is slightly increasing. And we do have the Bitcoin halving event coming up in May of 2020. That has historically also been very bullish for the price action of Bitcoin. So we all here believe in cryptocurrencies for the long term. So I think at these levels, we're getting to a point now where you really need to get exposure to the market and not worry about trying to trade out of positions for a couple $100s.
That's the problem, is we're not in a trading range now, so there's not key areas to, there's not levels to key off of. So your stops are going to have to be wide because you're keying off the rally from 31.20. So it's a little different here. The stops have got to be wide here. And 7,000, I just threw that number up there just because it's a round number. And I had to throw something out there, I guess. I'm not even sure that's the correct one. As we fall, maybe I'll change it.
Tajikin says, Nick, any thoughts on ZRX? The buy up to for PCG is 75 cents. You can look over in charts. Last night, I actually said buy the ZRX at 20 cents or below, especially if you like what Tika said in Palm Beach Research for his 5 coins to 5 million. It did come down to the 20 cent range and rallied as high as 22.50. I think that buy zone's still in play. If you already bought and you're like, oh man, am I going to watch my profits go away? It's a low risk entry. The thing moved very rapidly. It probably is coming down. It's down to 21.50, and it can rally just as rapidly again. So I'm not trying to play this short-term game here at these levels. As you know, we will trade assets in a trading range. KCS gave us 12% in Bitcoin in 5 days. We pulled out, and the thing is dumped. So when it's in a trading range, it's time to trade. But when you're near major tops or major bottoms, it's time to play the buy and wait game or the sell and wait game. And that's been working out for us so far this year.
On stocks, F-Trader, I guess I'm kind of bearish. I threw those couple things from Schaefer showing the sentiment has really changed here. So I think they're heavy. I don't really have a sell on NASDAQ. I got closer to a buy. But I think if they take out today's low, take out yesterday's low, then we're going to see more downside. So I'll hopefully get some type of sell, because I'd like to be short stocks. But I haven't got that easy trade. The Wyckoff wave looks a little lower. Sell. So I'd like to be short stocks. I've been talking about this pulling back. But haven't got that since we've been overbought up at these levels. The Wyckoff wave just came off of overbought. Looks a little lower. Sell for Monday, and I like Friday short stocks. I've been talking about this pulling back. Seems like haven't got that since we've been overbought trades. The Wyckoff wave came off of overbought. Looks a little lower. Sell for Monday, and I like Friday short stocks. I've been talking about this pulling back. Seems like haven't got that since we've been overbought trades. The Wyckoff wave came off of overbought. Looks a little lower. Sell. Sorry, we got that rid of. So again, I want to be short, but and this is a Wyckoff Wave Growth Index, which is a NASDAQ type index. You can see it's 49.67. So again, I think it's rolling over. Some big buying came in yesterday trying to pick these lows. I think that'll probably give away, which you might want to wait for that.
Well, I guess since you have the screen over there, if you want to look at a couple more stocks, look at the Bitcoin chart maybe, and then we'll start answering questions. Like I said, guys, this is AMA style, so we're just chilling. We got nothing really planned. It's your questions. These are your questions, our answers. So feel free to shoot out some questions. And Spiller, I will be starting with your question after Todd looks at a few charts.
There is GDX I had to sell in. Let me fix that. I said yesterday I thought it would still continue lower. I had a shitty close today. We're still at 49, so I would think GDX I mentioned. I really, you could say it's got a 50% pullback to, let's say, 27.75, but I really think we're going below this low. I think this is an A down, this is a B. Ultimately, we're headed lower. If you're trading options like Johnny Cool and a few people I saw that posted, it might be a little different, but ultimately, I think we're going below this low.
You want to take a look at Bitcoin, just a general overview and a couple of these charts, and then we'll get to the questions.
I mean, we're looking for the green 5 waves down that I posted in the roadmap. Again, that's guessing that was the 1-2, because the problem is you could have called that the 1-2, that the 3, then you can easily... There's too many ways to count this Elliott wave-wise, so I think you got to be careful. I mean, that could easily kind of work. I mean, 1's pretty long, 2's short, 3's long, 4's short, 5's really short. I mean, again, that doesn't look the best. It looks much better like that, and then this is the 3rd, and again, the 4th is still somewhere out here, and the 5th is lower. And I don't, as I zoom in here, I don't want to, I really think if we go lower, we're just going to tag like a 7,700 or something. I don't think we're going down. I don't think we're going to 7,200, 7,000 personally. I think we've wiped a few people out. So, we'll see how that is. I mean, see what happens. But this was an irregular flat up here, flat. So this could be a zigzag. So again, something up here. Because if we get a rally to 8,800, 8,900, that'd be a pretty 4. That would be the shakeout and the rally back. And then this would be the test of the low. So again, it could be a failure. So we could come down and check 8,000 with no volume, showing that nobody's coming in to sell Bitcoin. And that would be a failed 5th wave. That could happen. Or we come down with lower volume and go to slight new low, 77, 7,600. So I think that's it. And I think that cleans up the decline. But obviously that's going to matter how the technometer acts, how volume acts, all the usual shit that we follow. Bitcoin USD, I mean, there's the 5-minute. Nothing to talk about here. You can see everything's moving together. So no help. Been nice to see volume go to new low, price doesn't. That'd be nice to see in a few days if we can get that. Here's Bitcoin USDT. Let this load real quick. I mean, again, you see same thing here is we went to a new low here. USDT kind of just checked the low. A minor divergence there, but not much. So I can't add much, except I just think we're making a major low here. That's why I nibbled on the breaks. I mean, I'm pretty happy with what I've done. I just kept nibbling on lower breaks. And I think that's about all you can ask for here. So I had the line chart up there because a line chart hourly can be a total different chart. So Elliott Wave always was 1 hour line charts, because all you guys looking at 5-minute charts trying to count waves, I'm really not sure, that's tough to do. And I'll do it as well, and you can see it doesn't, might not change much stuff, because there's the hourly line chart. So again, this 4th wave isn't is way shorter compared to this wave 2 if the low is already in. But nothing's going to be perfect. So you got to look at levels. We could have just, did everything here on this break to 7,800, 8,000 yesterday. But all of this stuff counted out sweet. So
cool. Let's see some questions over here. There is some over here, I believe. Let's see.
And also, I had another. Bring me back one more time, because this is This is another way I've showed that you could have counted it. So if this was a B that ended here, that changes all that. We don't need this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 5 ways down. Well, shit, we did that. I mean, that says we're over with then, because we had sweet 5 ways down from that level, and that's an easy call there too. So you had this decline to here, and you got ABC up, ABC down, ABC up. So that means A, B, C, D, flat E. So again, for that says we've made the low, we're going straight up. So 2 different ways to kind of read that low.
All of which kind of puts you in the general area that we're probably somewhere near a bottom.
Yep.
Probably if we start rallying here, then we'll start looking to play some stop levels or maybe have a sell, looking out for possibly that 4th wave high before one more stab down for a 5th
probably
wave.
all I would do is, if I'm 85% long, I might sell half of my longs, 40% of it, try to get it back cheaper. You probably won't see me selling everything because I'm too scared that we'll wake up one day and we'll be at 10,000. And then next thing you know, we're at 12,000, 13,000, 14,000.
Spiller says, Nick, do you expect CRPT, RCN, and TNT to pull back? If you look in hashtag short-term channel in Discord, this morning I gave my opinion on there. I said they're all kind of in the danger zone up there this morning. I know that CRPT did pull back at some point today with the big red bar. I don't know where it's at currently. I think with those, they have a lot of momentum due to the Palm Beach report. That is for all the current subscribers, all the new subscribers that's getting leaked, etc. While the market was overall very weak, and those are low cap coins, that means very little volume can keep those things propped up. So yes, I think you need to be careful up there. I think they will revert to the mean, especially if Bitcoin gets going here. They are all in BTC pairs, so they probably won't favor too well if Bitcoin starts exploding. I doubt they can continue to outpace Bitcoin. I gave out some tentative stop levels if you want to be more passive, and if you wanted to be more aggressive, then you could have probably took some off the table there near the highs this morning. Again, I haven't looked at the charts. I don't know where they're at. I just know CRPT did get a couple big red bars, so it might have come back by now. But yeah, those are ones we've traded. We traded RCN a lot. We traded TNT a lot when they were original picks. Same with CRPT, big gains. CRPT was 55% gains twice in a row, but I just don't chase green candles. I don't think the outlook on the market itself really shows me that they have a ton more upside if Bitcoin starts to find a bottom and reversing here. So I think you need to be careful if you own those, and don't be too greedy, guys. If you bought when I posted those, that report, you're up pretty big considering the rest of the market severely dumped. So you made 25% on all those assets plus saved 20%, 25% on the dump of all other alts in Bitcoin because we did have profit stops on those in play. So make sure that you keep the winners the winners.
Pia Token says, we're closing below the 200 daily moving average at this rate. Are we still bullish? I mean, I don't look at the 200-day moving average, so you'd have to update me because I really don't care about it. If everybody's looking at that and we close below it, that's bearish. I hope to God we close below it to get everybody short. Then we can ram it right back up. So anything that looks bearish, I hope it happens. So everybody will get short. So if that 200-day moving average, I think it is right around here. I guess we're looking for daily closes, weekly closes, monthly close.
Right.
I hope all that shit happens.
Right. And I think the 200 moving average is probably somewhere around where 7,200, 7,250, something like that. I don't know.
I mean, it's a 200-day moving average. Every time we close above or below it, it's right 100% of the time. Because if that answer isn't yes, then I don't give a shit about it.
William Token says, where's the next buy zone on Loki? Loki, I think you need to be patient on. I haven't given a buy zone since the original report. So we'll keep our eyes on that. I think it's still way overvalued. I think it's something somewhere around probably 34 cents currently. I really am not interested unless it gets back down to the 20, 25 cents range before I'd even look at it. Usually these things rally, we make a good trade on, and they stay strong, and everybody wants to be long them, but then they inevitably revert back to the mean, show some weakness as people lose interest and move on to the next opportunity. That is when we want to be able to scoop in and get those lower prices, personally. AM said, any ideas when Fidelity joins the game? Fidelity will be joining the game in the form of ErisX platform. It is supposed to be Q4 2019 when that launches. That means it can be anywhere from 1 week from now till the end of the year. So we'll see if they stick to that date. But in about 1 week, the timer is on for ErisX to be launched and Fidelity to join into the game. Or is that TD Ameritrade? One of the two. Somebody wants you to take a look at Litecoin and Ethereum when you can here in a second. Let me see if there's any other questions that aren't TA related before I give you the screen back. Crypto King says, have we had a Wyckoff buy or is it just an Elliott Wave buy?
I would not be long 85% if it was an Elliott Wave buy.
There you go.
I mean, no doubt, with the technometer at 36, it's a Wyckoff buy.
James B said, hey, Nick, a buddy of mine got a supernode and is having wallet problems. Can't get it to work, can't send. So, back out of it, Sphere Wallet. What's the best way for him to reach out to the team, GitHub or something? No, the best way to reach out to the team would just be via Twitter, and then they'll kind of put you in contact with Telegram support or whatever you need. I'm not really sure what the problem is. If you lock up 500 Zen for Supernode, it is not going to let you send that out unless you remove that code or have the host provider shut it off. Because as soon as you do that, then the Supernode is no longer online and you're no longer receiving rewards. So it kind of locks those coins until you actually shut the node down, if that's the issue.
I'd rather buy XMR versus ZEC, but that's my call. This
XMR versus ZEC for sure.
ZivX,
about, no doubt.
I mentioned already, I mean, this wave will be over with in 2 or 3 days probably.
Ernest H says, thoughts on Link downside potential. I said that when that thing was ripping down, we had a stop at $1.84. It went down right back to the buy zone. The original buy zone is 145 to 152. Went right into there and then rocketed back to $1.93 and is probably sitting somewhere around $1.60 right now. I'm not really trying to do anything downside on it. I don't know. If Bitcoin goes a lot lower, probably retest that $1.40, $1.41 range. That is one that has solid fundamentals. We've traded really well all year, and I kind of want to maintain exposure at these levels here currently, especially after we just got stopped out at 184 and then bought it back on that massive dip. So we just pulled more profits out of it. I'm really not running a stop, and I'm not really too worried about downside risk.
What's up, Ernest? And I'm sorry, but I really don't care about moving averages. I have no idea where the 21 weekly is, the 200-day. I mean, I hear about it from looking at our Discord, or I'll hear about it looking at Twitter or something. But no, I absolutely, you won't find the word moving averages in any Wyckoff course that I know of. So I just don't. And I've been around traders my whole life. Chicago Board Options Exchange, Chicago Board of Trade. I mean, I never had anybody who was trading moving averages and proving any success with it. So,
Spiller says, what's the story on the merch? Where can we order it? So we haven't had time to do our own merch store, but somebody in the community is getting a merch store up and running. These are kind of the test products, but he is going to have a whole Learn Crypto line. So once that becomes available, we'll let you know. We're also going to do some giveaways to promote his store for you guys here in Discord, and maybe he'll offer some kind of Discord discount. So if you are a Patreon member of us, maybe we'll get 5, 10, 15% off. We'll have to see. I don't know what his margins are, but he's created some mugs, some Learn Crypto mugs, Todd Father mugs. I think he's making some Nick Stradamus mugs, as well as some shirts, some mouse pads, a bunch of little goodies that you guys can either have a chance to win or order here in the near future.
And I think Shinobi said it maybe in the Discord, in the Hangout area or something today. I mean, if you're following 12 Twitter guys or following 12 Discords, you're getting nothing accomplished, because 6 of them are bullish, 6 are bearish, and then you sit around and do nothing like a deer in headlights. So I guess it's the same thing with moving averages and all that. If I start watching that, then it'll make me not want to take a Wyckoff buy, or it'll change the LA wave count. So I've had success long term with what I do, and I'm just not looking hardly to add anything to it. And if I add anything to it, I would study more probably the Tom DeMark stuff, because DeMark has given advice to lots of hedge funds. I know that stuff works a little bit. That's the only thing I would spend some time on if I wanted to. And I really won't even do that. I have all the expensive books. But like I said, too much information will just make you just freeze up.
Joseph says, a topless calendar of Todd in different poses for every month. He'll buy 10 of them for the 2020 calendar.
I might need to give me another 6 months before I work out a little bit more.
Right.
My working out's not working well too much.
Lamy J says, is there a Telegram for Patreon? If not, any chance of one for announcements or stream or PBC, etc.? Currently, there is not. Johnny M. Cool, I think, has the Learn Crypto Telegram and kind of offered to us. But quite honestly, This is already enough work. We charge you guys $40. We do Patreon-only live shows, giveaways, Discords. We already made private channels with all of our buys. I don't think we really want to now post our stuff in another place. So for us, we're trying to keep it condensed all on Discord or on Patreon, and that keeps us busy enough. So maybe if we were charging 100, 150, 1,000 like some of these people, then sure, well, we'll do whatever we can, but that's just not the case. So I don't know how you feel about it, Todd. I know you're not looking for any more work.
Oh, no, I do a topless calendar.
I was talking about Telegram.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I need no more work. Sorry.
Randy says, Nick, can you explain the difference between buying an alt against USD or Bitcoin? How can an alt bottom on one and not the other? So if you just started with Patreon, you may have seen that a lot of my alt buy zones are in US dollars versus Bitcoin. Earlier this year, they were in Bitcoin versus US dollars. Really, for me, that depends on the market cycle. If alts are just greatly underperforming Bitcoin nonstop and Bitcoin has dominance going higher and is just pushing down on altcoin Satoshi charts like we saw earlier this year when it was rallying after the 14K top, then it's going to be real hard to trade any of those with success. So instead, I use the USD chart. We find good entries on there, either based off fundamentals, based on news, based on TA setup, and that way it is very easy to manage the one factor and being USD rather than the two factors of USD value plus Bitcoin value and trying to come out profitable while Bitcoin is pushing down on that Bitcoin pair. It's just not going to happen. So in order to maintain exposure to the alts we like long-term and pull up profits, we used the USD chart as nothing, quite frankly, was outpacing Bitcoin for any sustainable period of time, and that just was not the play we were looking to make. So when we do a USD chart trading pair, it's real easy to be like, all right, we're in, here's our profit stop, boom, we made $200, roll that $200 into Bitcoin to add more sats to the bag, and we still have our 100 Litecoin, or whatever it may be. Now, if we would have been trading Litecoin with the Bitcoin pair, then really you're never going to be pulling profits out because everything was a straight down bar. So, and then people can argue, well, then why would you diversify at all if Bitcoin just has the dominance? Because for the very fact that we were looking to trade some form of news, trade some form of fundamentals, and pull out 100 here, or 200 there, 300 here, and put it into Bitcoin or into USD Tether for the next major Bitcoin price. So as alt season kind of begins or alts start outpacing Bitcoin, then you'll start seeing me using more Bitcoin trading pairs. But for now, the USD ones just make it that much easier, especially when they were all just in that major downtrend.
I think you got to realize you got to have the right mentality to be in these markets because we all know some of the names in Discord. Because Litecoin at 130, 135, 140. It looked like it was a moonshot.
People were hating on us because we got stopped out at $135.
Right, we had run it all the way up, unbelievably, and I didn't think it was ever going to come back to these levels. But I guess it didn't matter. I just kind of traded it as we did. So the people that were long there saying it was going to go 200, 300, 400, they're not even paying $40 to be in Discord no more because they're sitting on Litecoin still. That they didn't buy at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. They buy it at 130.
And call us idiots
so
for
now
getting
they're
stopped
done.
out at 135. And we didn't even touch Litecoin again until it was down to $90, sold it at 100, down to 90 again, sold it at 100.
You just got to have a plan, I think. So if you're trading just on emotion or whatever, you're just going to be the guy that's not going to be here in a few months. And I've said it before, if you're taking good risk reward trades, using stops, etc., you'll probably be here because I will be here. At 99.25, I was bragging for that stop not to get hit. Well, shit, that was probably the best thing that happened to me. We bought things back at, down here at the 8,200 level. So what it looked like was a total, I did not want that stop to give away, and I never thought it would give away. I still, everything looked good, but it got ugly there with the technometer telling you that something maybe was wrong. And shit, all the stops hit, Litecoin stopped, Ethereum stopped, everything worked perfectly. So there's no way myself I could have already traded any better than I have this year. I don't, 'cause the thing to do when you're trading is to keep track of journal of what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and fix your mistakes. But, there's some little things I can try to change, but I've had a pretty big year. So because you can't call every move. You're not going to pick every high-low. You just got to take what you can, get a little meat off the bone, and keep trading. But, the people that are talking with no stops and throwing big numbers around, that really means nothing. And I've said it, anybody that's been on this channel for a few years, I'm pretty good with the indicator showing that, hey, we probably could bounce here or we could turn down. and the next 2 or 3 weeks, that signal will flip or something. So, I think we're going to all-time highs, but that's an Elliott wave count. That's why I think institutions are coming. I think wealthy individuals are coming with custody and insurance. I think this is going to be an asset class, so I can see us going to all-time highs here. I love Elliott wave when you're in the right roadmap, but beyond that, all I know is down here things look attractive because of the technometer, et cetera. I've been making the calls right, so Elliott wave looks good here. And even though you got to understand that I pay for Elliott Wave International, and those are my guys, but they were bullish everything there and got stopped out of everything. So I went totally against them as well because I do my own thing. And really I do Wyckoff with Elliott Wave behind it. So things deteriorated there, thank God, and told me that something was wrong, so I didn't get hurt from any of that. So I just think you got to have a game plan, whether it's Wyckoff, Elliott Wave, or whatever, moving averages or RSIs, whatever, find something and then try to be the best at it. But I'm going to say, obviously, it's Wyckoff.
Ergen says, I missed the live show. Will there be an update? I think we're still live right now, Ergen. And you can always rewatch the video. The link will stay in Discord, stay on Patreon. You can always rewatch it as many times as you want.
Convert Bitcoin to Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, BNP here. I mean, you might have more answer to that.
That's up to you.
We liked all those. I mentioned all those except BNB on my buys. So, yeah.
And then even yesterday on YouTube, we were saying somewhere down here, you probably need to get back exposure to BNB. I'm about 90% long. A lot of the alts, the buy zones I gave hit. Ethereum Classic was a BTC pair buy zone. That hit and exploded. So, I mean, you got to decide how you want to diversify your portfolio. But, yeah, those are all assets that we like. XRP is the one that I really don't own right here. But with that remaining 10%, we'll be looking for an XRP position at some point, as I think it could have a good rally leading into the Swell Conference in November. XLM will probably follow as they have their own conference in November as well. So you probably want to own XRP or XLM going into the November conferences, or maybe a little bit of both, and see what you can kind of pull out of them.
Should create a Discord death list. I guess Vishal was one of those, wasn't he?
Right.
Who was the one guy on the Litecoin that just...
I can't remember. Somebody was just going nonstop at us. Like, how'd you guys get stopped out at 135? You're an idiot. We're going to 200, 250. I want my refund, and if I don't get a refund, I'm just going to spam in here until the end of the month, blah, blah, blah. Well, 135. Look at the chart and tell me when a 135 stop hits and then what the price action looks like. That thing went to like 70. So, I mean, it's funny. And you guys, we're not always going to agree. You guys can have your own methods. We're here to help you. $40, we're not your financial advisor. We're here for entertainment purposes, let you know what we're doing with our own money, and then you can generate your own opinion, take the same buys, take the same sells, fade us, whatever. But, if you're going to be really aggressive, then you might want to be sure that you're going to be 100% right, because more likely than not, we're probably going to end up on the right side of the trade, and you're going to be caught disappearing. Right. I think some of these people that disappear, they're still in the group because every month they keep paying, but they just don't kind of talk anymore after they put their boot in their mouth. I mean, if you have a different mindset or a different trade and you want to talk about it and debate it, that's great, but if you're going to be that aggressive and call us idiots and want a refund, we're a scam because we got stopped out of Litecoin at 135 that we bought at $30, then you might want to be sure that Litecoin's really indeed going to 200 and not topping out at 140.
Because if the correction is ending, I mean, it's probably going to get easier for me. I mean, the corrections, and I said that, are the hardest to trade. We've traded the corrections pretty good. So if we start an impulse here, those are normally way easier. So I think my life's going to get easier here moving forward. So, yeah, and I think people want to get in here and think, well, Todd gets cocky once in a while and I'm going to show him that I'll fade him and beat him. But, dude, I don't think you want to do that. I'm going to be right more times than wrong. And I am going to get slapped somewhere here for a few months, and everyone's going to be like, well, Todd's hot streak is over, et cetera. That's going to happen somewhere, I'm sure. I'll get sideways. I'll get off the roadmap. But hopefully I have enough profits in that, I'll survive those drawdowns and keep it moving. So, but, yeah, trying to fade us isn't probably just not good for the pocketbook. Find Show or somebody.
Right, I kind of, somebody's like, oh, you kind of get cocky. It's like, wouldn't you want us to get, I mean, you're paying for our information. Wouldn't you rather us be cocky than just be like, well, you can maybe buy Litecoin here at 53, but might have downside risk to 45 or maybe 30, or, it could go to 120 or 150. I mean, how does that help anybody if we're not giving you definitive buy points that we're buying, sell points that we're selling, then what is the point of paying and how is that helping you? I see a lot of things on Twitter where they're like, oh, well, I mean, XRP has a rounded bottom here, but if it goes down 10%, then that's invalidated, and the resistance zone is 10% higher. Okay, well, what are you going to do? You can buy here, and then I guess you get, if it gets invalidated, you lose 10% of your money. If it goes up 10%, they're not going to say, oh, well, you need to sell in the resistance. They're going to wait and see what happens. If it goes through the resistance, then they'll follow up the thread and be like, boom, resistance cut through like butter. XRP's mooning. If it gets reversed at the resistance, they'll go on and be like, oh, I told you the resistance level. You should have took some profits off there. I mean, that's how they play it. And that's all good and grand, but that doesn't really help anybody in the end. So that's what we try to do in the Discord. You know, we're telling you exactly where we're buying, what we're looking at, our philosophy. Yes, we bought at 7,800 to 8,200, and Bitcoin right here at 8,100 has downside risk here. But do I care if it goes below that 78? Not really. If you have a little bit more fiat, that's when you want to deploy it. We think the local bottom is somewhere near here, and we're not really stressing. You're never going to find the bottom to the dollar, and when you try to do that is when you get left behind. So we've seen that many times, especially in the crypto market, where things can turn on a dime. It could be the most bearish candle, wick structure, whatever, and then we see Bitcoin decide, you know what? I'm going to reverse Bart Simpson here and go up $500, and we're never going to that level again. So, I mean, I think you just got to continue to do what you're doing. Stick to a philosophy, follow along with us for guidance, ask your questions, and we'll try to just continue to put low-risk entries, high-reward probabilities in your favor, and we'll see where we're at here next month, the month after. And that's another thing I love about Patreon is, I mean, it is month to month. If you don't want to stay with us, that's great. I mean, we've had a core group of 600-plus people now for 4 months now. I think right now we're around 650. So people do come and go, or people put their boot in their mouth and they leave or whatever. Or that some people say it's financial situation, they can't afford it. We're not holding you hostage. If you don't want to pay $40, don't pay it. But I think we provide a ton of value between Todd and I and the trades we give. But then also we have Palm Beach Confidential, which is $3,000 a year. Palm Beach Trader, which is $3,000 a year. Syndicator Bot, which is $1,500. And really the list goes on and on. So it's up to you guys.
I did say Zib. I mean, I really don't trade leverage. I do short some. Some clients want to short. I do not short very much. Trading some of the short exchanges through 3 commas and Coinigy has been a pain in the ass. So if Binance gets where it's easily short and stuff, you will see me trade more of that at the appropriate time. But like right now, the other day, somebody said, do you give shorts in here? It's like, we're at 8,000. I mean, you're not going to get many short recommendations from me. The shorts were, we was up at 13.1 when I was confident, and 13.7 and all those. So there is times that I would say do short, or when I get stopped out of something, go short there. I mean, that's probably the best trade I can tell you. If I have a stop level at 99.25, that would have been a level to when I thought stuff was looking ugly. So you'd have just sold short there. So you could do that anytime.
Chris B says, when will we be buying XLM? 2 weeks from now or sooner? I think you can buy XLM right now. Or any further weakness.
3 commas is, it's just handy because the other day I told you I had the buys at 10,080. And if it gets filled, trail a 97.50 stop. I had all those orders in. So that way I could go to sleep and not worry about it. Every time I enter an order, because people want to know how I'm trading so many hundreds of accounts, but when I put an order for a client, the stop goes in with them. I mean, it might be something crazy low because I'll change it when I get a feel. And when I just want to blow out, all I got to do is take those orders to market, and I get out of market. So, it's a little bit of trouble, but really it's more trouble getting prepared for a trade. And today I had no orders ready to go for Litecoin and Ethereum because I just don't. I've been pushing more for Bitcoin here, so I don't know. I am overweight of Bitcoin for everybody, but I guess I feel more comfortable with that right here, right now. And then again, I will maybe diversify a little bit. So I did add a little bit of Ethereum and Litecoin to some accounts, but nothing major.
JD344 says, are you worried about possible recession and its consequences on Bitcoin? Before you answer, we did do a pretty in-depth discussion of this in last night's live show. So if you haven't watched that, that is available for the public over on YouTube. So you want to give your quick rundown of that, Todd?
What up, Montana? Yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin's following stocks. So if we have a recession, first of all, a recession doesn't mean interest rates a recession means interest rates are probably going to stay low, go lower, and that probably means the stock market continues higher. So I'm not sure a recession means the stock market's going to go down. Probably will mean the stock market continues to hold gains and work higher, and Bitcoin will too. So I think it's more lower interest rates keeps the speculative juices alive and keeps Bitcoin going higher.
Luza says, do you take any notice of the syndicator calls? You don't really trade off of the syndicator bot. What the syndicator bot does is kind of with their group of analysts as well as their AI, kind of gives you a general idea of where the market is and where it's heading over the next 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, and kind of get you, I kind of use it as like a confirmation type of thing. Like if, hey, we got a Wyckoff buy here and I'm like a Neo with upside of this, and then syndicator's like, oh, the Neo, blah, 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 here's the range. And it has a bullish range. And I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm kind of on the right side of the trade here. And that's just kind of a confirmation to my thought process. And we'll go from there. So that's what I use syndicator for. Just kind of gives like a macro overview of individual assets or the market capitalization or the Bitcoin dominance as a whole to kind of guide you or use it as an additional tool. It's not one where you can really trade on unless you're trading based on the stock things you can trade, because around quarters they will give you percentages on whether or not somebody will be beating earnings. Usually if there is an earning beat, as long as the guidance is solid, you're going to see a little bit of a rally. So I know some individuals were using syndicator and making 10, 15% in a day on the stock marketplace. But as far as the crypto is concerned, like I said, I just use it as an extra tool. Kind of gives a nice macro overview of where the general public and their AI thinks a price range for individual assets will be.
The best thing that will happen for Bitcoin is if we do get that 86, 87, 8800, and then you can put a stop somehow somewhere on the positions that you bought here today and yesterday, and then we'll just hope for the best because, again, we could stab one more time lower. It could be deeper than I say, but I think for now we just got to hope for some type of rally here, see if we can manage some stops on some of the positions, and just try to pick this low here, whether it's right now or whether it's going to be few days or mouse around for a couple of weeks.
Do you have your historical chart for Bitcoin available for the newer members that weren't really with us since the beginning of the year and kind of what we were doing and really didn't have any sells all the way up? Can't see because your picture, I'll move it.
I mean, that was it.
There we go. Yeah, so really, I mean, we were calling for, after it fell out of that big descending triangle, we're really calling for a bottom around 3,000 to 3,200. And started getting Wyckoff buys down at those levels.
I've not updated all this here, but I did all of this. All these, and you can see here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, there's for 13 buys. We did have a short-term sell up here. That's actually when I gave a leverage trade. I said, go 100x leverage and get a new Lambo. And that trade did work perfectly. We went from like, what was it? It was like 8,100 down to 7,100. And then I had a short-term buy there. So these are a little bit more Elliott wave based. And because we had a lot of Discord people in here and they don't want to wait for that one buy. Because if you look here, these were like 3 weeks apart, 2 weeks apart. Nobody really wanted Discord where it's like, oh yeah, every 2 weeks I'm going to give you a trade. Otherwise, leave me alone. Because that's really what these were, and these were home runs. So we started trading more Elliott wave here on this sideways. And then I did miss a little bit of the rally up here on trade positions, but then the software gave us a sell at 13.7. Traded this extremely well. Software, we were live at 13,000, giving sell everything. And then here we moused around, kind of broke even, lost a little bit of money. Over here, kind of broke even, made some money. And then sidestepped the last decline. But I think here, I mean, if we're starting this decline or this rally from here, if this is a 1 up and a 2 down, I mean, probably we're going to start one of these. It probably could start out slow, and then it's going to ignite. So I'm hoping we just continue to get buys here. So hopefully we rally. Tech goes to 46 or 47. Selling comes in, and the tech comes back down to 38. And we tell everybody to nibble some more, whatever, go leveraged. And we just do the same thing again, and we get a bunch of buys with no sells. So these buys happen because you had selling coming in while price held. That was basically just suckers getting out.
And those are perfect buy
smart
points
money getting in
for dollar cost averaging. in a way. Dollar cost averaging, you're supposed to just be blindly buying every 2 weeks, whatever. But all those kind of buys are solid because you can maybe make a couple paychecks, throw another grand, a couple hundred, I don't know, your guys' finances in the market while the software is giving you buys, and Bitcoin continues for the next trend higher. I mean, I've seen logarithmic historical charts for Bitcoin. I've seen a bunch of it, and the halving has always been a bullish opportunity for Bitcoin. That's why we're not getting too caught up with the price action right here, but worrying about it going lower. Is it's going to start to create a rounded bottom. It's going to start slow. People are going to be like, oh, it's going to be the same people that said we're going to 1,500 when we were at 3,000 are going to be calling for 5,000 Bitcoin. Probably never going to get it. Round bottom, start off slow. Everybody wants to sell every rip, be in the trader mood. They're pro traders, and then boom, you get to a point where you're just going to hit one massive green bar that never gives it back up. People will continue to wait for a gap to close. And before you know it, it'll go to new highs for this move, probably to 16,000, 17,000, have a little bit of a retrace, and then go to all-time highs closer to 24,000. So, I mean, just where you find yourself on the timeline, and we try to manage that and pull money out of the market on the way up via alt trades, Bitcoin trades, passive income with staking, Binance lending, whatever it may be. And you can kind of follow in our footsteps to try to pull as much money out of the market as we can and add as many sats and coins to the bags as we can as well.
I want to show this here. This is coming off the lows of 3,200. Because I just want to show this just because, we had a buy down here at 31.75 or so. I thought a move above here was really bullish, so kind of jumped that and then came back to it over here. But I want to show because these declines. I mean, like this sell-off here, I remember that completely because we double topped. Everything looks like shit. We fall, $400. So
everybody's saying here comes the 1,500.
The rally back was shitty. Everyone's like, oh my God, we have an ABC and we can't get anything going. Volume's not coming in. And the software just kept buying. The software didn't buy breakouts. It kept buying all the dips. So it bought all these little wicks, all these sell-offs because volume was coming into the downside and price just wouldn't really give it up. It gave it up some, but that's all it was doing. So this didn't look impulsive, but damn it turned into impulsive. And then even, and I remember, and the software gave a buy right here. I still remember that night because I was nervous. You could hear it in my voice because I was telling everybody we were going to ignite, and I thought explode here. And I didn't want to be live on YouTube giving a top tick buy signal. But the software internally gave a buy signal on the way up right there, which was uncanny. I mean, that's what really juiced up even Discord and everything else because the indicators have just been off the chain. So, and then again, it gave these buys here. This was all looking toppy, etc. So I think it's going to happen again. You got to be careful. This thing might not start out a house of fire, but it might just keep chugging higher here once we break some things off. So like I said, all these trades are definitely updated since the highs. I haven't really had time to update different trades, and we've messed around doing different things. But quite a few of them are here. You can see we sold that high. We bought this low. I sold that. Bought here a little early. Got stopped out. Bought again. Bought, sold too early. Everyone gave me shit for that 10.4 to 12. But everybody gave me shit was guys talking all the crap at 12 grand. And that was fine, but you should have been just saying, well, I took another 1,000 out of it, whatever, 1,500. But I think everyone just stayed with it. Well, they paid for it then on the next decline. Then again, you don't get a chance. You don't get a chance to break even. Nobody bought 14, 13, 12 got a chance to get out or break even. That means they keep it. Some of your best trades are probably taking losses, but nobody wants to take a loss, so they hold. So everybody held all these highs, and they dumped yesterday when we fell through 9,000. So, or they're going to dump this morning when we went to new low, or they're going to dump on the next new low because it seems like everyone's bearish now. And I got people on Twitter. Everyone knew it was going to go to 7,500. Everybody knew 8,000 was going to be. Everyone knew 9,000 was breaking, and what Peter Brandt being bearish, etc. So I don't think you can pay attention to none of that. So like I said, I think the decline is going to get mopped up somewhere. I think we're going a lot higher. So, but trade at your own risk. I could be wrong.
Let's see.
Appreciate
if
it,
any other questions?
How do you explain that the software gave you no signal for the current breakdown? I don't know where you were at. I talked about that live.
We also had stops on everything, literally, because we feared the breakdown.
I gave this live, so if anybody wants to remember this is a huge call. I told you when we was trading here, software was deteriorating, and there has to be some way to throw an Elliott wave label on that. That's what I did. I went back and said, well, this is a 1. This is an irregular flat that couldn't even get above 10,450. That's how shitty we are. And then I end up showing another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another shitty wave too. And I said this live on air to, I think, everybody. It was a YouTube broadcast that we had done a 1, 2, 1, 2. If that's the case, we're going to go straight down. And that was after I got stopped out at 9,925. So I don't know what you mean, JD. The software told us we had a problem coming, and then it deteriorated. So these are 1, 2, 1, 2s. And a lot of Elliott wave places came back and, again, you can call this an A, this is a B. And again, this is kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you do that, the lows are in. No, I didn't have a sell on the chart because, like I said, I just hadn't updated all that because I got too much going on. So, but I understand that's the point of that too is I've seen some Elliott wave. I think it's from Elliott Wave International, and I respect those guys, but they were calling this an A, this is the B, and then you're going to count this as done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means that's an A, that's a B, C, correction's over, we're going straight up. So if you call that an A, B, the lows are in, probably right now as we speak.
We got Montana Crypto Love saying Discord. Patreon is off the hook, killing it. Well worth a lot more than $40. We'll appreciate it. We're trying to be at the $40 range so everybody can afford it. We're trying to build a community. And we don't want to be the people who charge $100, $150, whatever it may be. $40 is cheap enough. I mean, it's cheaper than any utility bill you have. And, me and Todd are available almost 24/7 in Discord, providing what we think is a lot of value. So we appreciate it.
I think if you have more money coming into the market,
see you, Luza.
I think probably just add it here. I mean, you can wait for my next buy. I think that's a better question after we have a few more days or a week here, but I think we're making big loads. I think if you got any fresh fiat, you need to bring it in now. The software, the OP and technometer, yeah, it's volume based. That's because I showed that.
Also, if you want to learn more about it, if you go to the Welcome tab in Discord, there's a little bit of an explainer, and I think Todd even opened up one of our free lessons from the trading course pertaining to the technometer as well. But you can give your little excerpt on what the technometer is and how it's generated in the software if you want.
James B says a 15-minute a leading diagonal. Because this is Bitcoin USD. This is the one that gave us the technometer went from 44 to 52 while price declined. And that happened from right here. We had that nice rally from 9,800. I was up in Oregon. Ran to 10.3. That looked impulsive as shit. Nice 1, 2. This is a 3. We got a 4 here. We need to go to a new high. And then we just kept falling. But we was falling all this time while volume selling wasn't coming in. So it's like, why would we be falling so much in price if sell volume is not coming in? And that basically to me said that the price is so weak that it's not even taking down volume to make it go down. It's just going down on its own. Some of that could have been, longs were over leveraged and starting to get in trouble. And I said if sell volume comes in, we're going to collapse. And that's here, sell volume starts to come in, collapse. And then now more sell volume's coming in because people are giving up. Leveraged longs getting knocked out. Shorts piling in now finally. So
I think BitMEX liquidation on that drop that one day was like $272 million or something, which is crazy.
But here the technometer goes from like 44 to 52 during all that. And that was just, to me, was a warning sign. That's when I went back. We had all our stops in. I mean, like I said, I'm setting it. I just bought 9,800 overnight. While we had sold like 10.1, bought 9,800. We're up to 10.3. I'm like, man, that was an unbelievable call. It was an ABC pullback. We're going to go up to 11.1 now. And then it just fell apart. So, and 9.25 was really where this wave one overlapped. So when we were up here, everyone was like, where are you going to put the stop? I put it at the wave one overlap. at 99 and a quarter. So we hit that here. And then, like I said, just Ethereum was still acting well. Litecoin's still acting well. Then those gave it up. So stops did what they were supposed to.
Profit stops.
And when we get stopped out, I mean, and Nick can say what he wants to, but I mean, when I get stopped out, I'm not trying. I know how it is to be like, oh God, I got to get right back in. No, I try to like, shit, I'm going out to eat. I'm going to the club. I'm going to take a break because that trade didn't work and I got to wait for the next one.
Right. And the stops are usually there for a reason. Usually what we're trying to find is a critical point to where if that breaks, then you're going to see a big drop and get a way better opportunity, which you had a little bit of patience. You waited a day and then we fell to $7,800. So that's what it's there for. A Litecoin stop was at 73.50 for myself, 71 at Todd, profit stops. Ethereum stop was at 205, which is a profit stop. All the altcoins are profit stops. So that makes it even easier. I'm not trying to jump right back in, especially when it's a profit stop at a major point, a critical level. I mean, pull the profits out, relax, go to dinner, come back and see a couple more red bars, and then we can start looking at buy zones, and that's when I'm posting them in Discord, etc. So,
James, you're talking about a leading diagonal. I mean, I think you could almost say this is A, B, C, D, and then if this would have been a little higher, it would have been perfect because I love the 5 ways up even when it's overlapping, and then an A, B, C down. So, I mean, I wouldn't care if we go down and make a 79 and a quarter tonight and then turn up. I mean, that'd be fine with me. Or if we just explode right here. I mean, we could just keep moving the upside here. I wouldn't be surprised by that. So then also what I was saying is, the software gave us 2 buys back there that didn't work. So that kind of tells you, and I talked about that live on air too. I mean, you get a couple of buy signals and they don't work. It starts to tell you, damn, if we had 2 oversold technometers and couldn't get a rally going and then the technometer goes to overbought, I mean, something's fishy going on. And that just told you that we were going to break down quicker than what we thought.
The technometer went from like oversold to overbought on like a $300 move. That didn't go to a new high. That's not good action.
Nope.
All right, guys, do you have any? We've been here a little over an hour. If you guys have any further questions, let us know. We don't really have any news articles. I will post some winners for our giveaway tonight or tomorrow. So make sure to check in the announcements tab for winners. We'll be giving away some crypto, usually some XLM, ETC, Rapids, maybe Bitcoin. I don't know. Whatever I have a bag of at that point, we'll give that away. Just another way to give away some value to you guys. We'll also be looking to give away some of these tested learn crypto items. If you live in the United States, it's probably my only must-have because that'll cost me $5 to $10 to ship. If you live out of the States, it's probably going to cost more like $30, and I'd rather just send you some crypto. F Trader says, after the green 3, that could easily be an ABC, right?
After the green C.
I guess he's looking at the chart you're looking at right now. Green 3.
Right.
So probably what you were just discussing.
After that green 3, could that easily be an ABC, right? I'm looking for an ABC back up or some type, because by this count, this is a flat. The 2-wave is a flat. So 4 needs to alternate. So it needs to be a zigzag or a triangle. Again, I don't remember the exact count that I've seen from, I think it's from Prector, where they call this 1-2 is actually an AB. And again, if that's an AB and this is a C, then the lows are in, and we're going to start a moonshot. So, and they're probably bullish down here too, but they got caught in that sell-off. So be careful. But yeah, I think
he's referring to the
lows
previous 15-minute chart when you were zoomed in there.
Yeah, I wasn't showing. I mean, you can call that an ABC up, but that's it. You're zoomed in too much, because if that's an ABC up, then you're going to be like, well, then we made a new high here, and then we've done kind of a flat. So like ABC and then a X flat and another ABC up. I mean, I think you're getting too cute with that. So go to the 1 hour, go to the line chart, and all of a sudden the ABC don't really show up. So I think if you're day trading, look at the 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, or if you're trying to enter an order. But I don't know if you're trying to put Elliott wave counts on stuff. You just saw you had an ABC, then I just took a 1-hour line chart, and you can't really say there's an ABC there. Now it looks more like a 1 and a 2, or an A and a B, and now we're ready for higher. So I think that's the key, is you got to kind of back up a little bit. Because if you go to the, here everything still looks pretty good on my 1-2, I think. And these 5 waves look still pretty good. But an hourly line chart is more what Elliott Wave really used to use.
Trade Safari Social says, did the 21-week MA and 200 daily MA say something? We don't really use moving averages like that. I think it kind of gives you a general idea of where can be some major supports or resistance if you want to use it as a additional indicator. And I think the 200 daily AMA or MA is somewhere around $7,200, I think. So for what it's worth, there you go. If it goes to the 200 MA and everybody's so sure that that's the inflection point, I doubt that it actually will be. But if it does, great, because right now, that's only another $800 drop, or really a $600 drop from our lowest buys at 7,800. So nothing really that we're too concerned of. And I really wouldn't even mind us floating around here or going a little lower, as I do have fresh fiat on the way that'll probably be available in about 3 or 4 days. So I hope we sit here for a little bit so I can get a cheaper entry price. Ziv said that this was his first live show. There you go. These are kind of just more laid back, relaxed. We just answer your questions. We don't have anything planned. Then, of course, we'll be in Discord later. Todd jumps on and does some Patreon-only TA shows here and there. Sometimes I do some Patreon-only or Patreon first fundamentals or interviews or whatever it may be. So just something we like to do. Adds a little more value. But the real value is in the Discord and, us being in there 24/7 to answer questions. So if you got questions, tag Todd or myself in the proper channel in the member corner. And, of course, if you read the welcome must read, everybody read the welcome channel, please. That is worth like $300 in value, because you get a free Elliott Wave book, you get a free course, a free lesson out of the course, you get a 20% discount on the course. It tells you how to get the most out of the Discord, where we're going to post our buys and sells, our fundamentals, and how to use the search functionality to save yourself time and get the most and best information out of all the other community channels as well. So read the welcome channel, please. The bot, we created a bot that pings you, telling you to read the welcome channel for a reason, because it is very important to get the most value out of the Discord channel, and really to get the most value out of the crypto market. You're playing with your money here, so it's fun. Crypto's cool. Digital money, it's fun. We're having fun. We're trading. The thrill of the gamble, right? Well, you got to think of this as like your 401k, your retirement. It's the same type of thing. You are investing and you are trading, so you need to take it seriously. Take the 20 minutes to read each and every bullet point in the welcome, and I guarantee you'll make more money if you do so.
I was going to say, again, I'm 4 a.m. I'm jumping on a train. I'm taking the train to Chicago, because that way I can have my computer out. I can trade if I need to. So I'll probably be on Discord. I might stay up all night and try to sleep on the train. I don't think I'll do that, because that's usually not my method. But I'll probably be on the train and then Discord. And then I'm meeting a bunch of people in Chicago at a kind of a wealthy people convention thing. So I might be a little bit sparse, like from 11 tomorrow until 5 or so, and I'm sure we're doing dinner, drinks, whatever. So I'll be on when I can, and then I'm getting up early Saturday morning, I think around 7, leaving Chicago, coming back to St. Louis. So I'll be on when I can, but there'll be sometimes, a few hours where I'm probably going to be not available.
There we go.
But I will be watching.
Looks like that's about all the questions. Shout out for joining the Patreon on the live show and giveaway. I will be announcing the giveaway winners, like I said, later tonight in the announcements room or tomorrow. So keep an eye out, see if you get tagged. And we'll guaranteed to see you in Discord here in a little bit. Again, this will not be made public to anybody else. So hopefully you feel a little special for that. Till next time, stay tuned for your daily updates on cryptocurrencies right here at Learn Crypto. Hope you guys decide to stay with us. The month is almost up. October 1st is about 5 days away. If you decide to stay with us, hey, hit that button, pay another $40, and we'll be doing this all over again. Next month, we've had a huge month this month. Ton of altcoin trades, ton of risk mitigation on Bitcoin. So I really don't see why you wouldn't stay with us. But if it's something we did, let us know. And we'll continue to just have you on this Learn Crypto train. Shout out to those of you who have auto pay on. It makes it a lot easier for me as far as bookkeeping is concerned. That way I don't have to remove you from the Discord just to have to get an angry message from you to add you back. So make sure you make the payment if you can on the 1st or 2nd, as we then do clean out the Discord room. If you get deleted from Discord but you think you paid, just simply send us a message. You don't need to get angry. I'll verify that you paid. We'll get you a link back to the Discord. The reason you would be deleted if you paid is if you never gave me the Discord name. The first message I send you is please reply with your Discord name. I pair that up with their Patreon name. That way we don't get any freeloaders in Patreon or Discord. We want to reward those that support us by supporting them and making sure there's nobody in there for free.
Yes,
Anything else to add, Todd, before we get out?
The only thing I got to add is...
I'm rich, bitch!
There it is.
That's all I got.
See you guys later. See you on Discord. I'm taking a
I've
little bit of a
got
break.
balls of
Watch
steel.
some Thursday night football. Root for the Packers for me. I got their defense, and I got them in a pick'em league. So root for the Packers at home. I'll really appreciate it. So will my wallet. I will see you guys later.
Peace out.
Hey, stay positive, pal. Most people, when they lose, they whine and quit. But you got to be there for the turns. Everybody's got good luck. Everybody's got bad luck. Don't run when you lose.
Play hard, play clean. Be careful out there.
We'll see you all again. Sleep tight.